Hello and welcome to Summing It Up. I'm your host, Mrs. St. John, and today we're going to be talking about understanding integers. So I'm going to make a number line, and on the number line, I'm going to put 0 in the middle. Then I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is to the right of 0. That's the number line that you're used to seeing. So now we're going to talk about integers, which are negative numbers as well. So I'm going to go to the left of the 0 and count by ones, and it would be -1, -2, -3, -4. So as you go to the left, numbers are negative and they just count up from there, and as you go to the right, they are positive. So let's talk about graphing and finding opposites of numbers. So if I have a 2, I want to graph that on the number line. Well, I start at 0 and I graph to 2. Now to find the opposite, I need to know how far away from 0 is that number? Well, it's 2. So therefore, the opposite would be on the other side of 0, which if I go 2 this way, I end up at -2. So 2 and -2 are opposites. Now let's talk about something called absolute value. Absolute value. Okay, so if I have a 4 and I have these 2 bars surrounding the 4, those bars, that's the symbol for absolute value. And absolute value is just the distance from 0. So let's graph 4. There's 4. What is the distance from 0? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So the absolute value of 4 equals 4. What if I have -2? The absolute value of -2. Well, let's graph that. And I count 1, 2. That is 2 units away from 0. So the absolute value of -2, even though it's a negative, distance is always positive. So the absolute value of -2 is 2. So again, absolute value is always positive. Unless there's a negative on the outside of the absolute value symbol, the number you get will always be positive from out of the absolute value symbol. Okay, now let's talk about comparing numbers. So if I have 4 and I want to compare that to 2, okay, I'm going to look at 4, which is here, and I'm going to look at 2, which is here. The further you get to the right on the number line is the larger number. So we know from elementary school that 4 is larger than 2. So this proves that going to the right on a number line, that makes the number larger. So this is a symbol, 4 is greater than 2. But let's look at -1 and -3. Okay, so here's -1 and here's -3. Well, we just heard that the further right you go, the larger the number. So that means -1 is greater than -3. So if we go to the right, it's the larger number. Okay, so even though it looks like 3 should be a larger number than 1, because it's negative, the further you go left on the number line, the smaller the number actually gets.